the case study of Heinz, how the Consumer Consulting Board of Heinz brings the consumer to life. Before we dive into the world of communities, I would like to give you a bit of background into the Heinz company in the Netherlands. It is an American-owned company with a large local market focus. And in the Netherlands, several Dutch brands fall under the Heinz umbrella, 9 in total, amongst others Honig, Vens, and De Ruiter. And for many years, they have been using qualitative and quantitative research methods to gain consumer insights for all these local brands. And of course, all these studies are very useful in gaining consumer insights. However, information is often quite fragmented and abstract, which makes it a bit difficult to really boost their consumer feeling. So around 2008, they set the goal to inspire their marketeers and create a platform where marketeers and consumers can be in direct contact, so that consumers would become more tangible and marketeers would get to experience the consumer reality firsthand. So they were searching for a way to provide them with an accessible tool to receive immediate consumer feedback on their plans, on their ideas, and give them a bit of a sensing experience. So our solution was to set up a community about food and cooking that was broad, a very broad community for all those different brands, where we invited the Dutch food enthusiasts, and we call it today Food and Zo. So what do we need to set up this food community? And let's stay a bit in the theme of foods. I will introduce you to the 4 ingredients. First of all, the number. There are about 150 to 200 active members on this community, and this allows us to really keep the discussions manageable and to build a real group feeling with them. Secondly, the profile of these participants. Well, they're Dutch consumers. They're responsible for purchase, mainly women. But the most important thing is that they all share a very strong interest in food and cooking. And now the goal of this community, like I already explained in the beginning, is really to serve as a direct line for marketeers in the short run and improve their consumer feeling in the long run. And the last ingredient is the duration, which in this case is ongoing, because there are teams involved from marketing, communications, customer service, food services, and recently R&D also joined. So this, you can imagine that this results in a lot of research questions and enough to feed the discussions every week. So building such an ongoing community with that many teams involved, yeah, it's not something that you can set up in one day, unfortunately. It takes a bit more time than that. And we started this community already in 2008, like a real 1.0 version. And in 5 years' time, the community has grown both in terms of the investment, the intensity of usage, and the number of employees involved. And what is most important here, our learning, is that growing the value of this community is like an evolution. You just can't push it. I mean, you must make sure that people experience these benefits of collaborating with consumers to convert them into a frequent user. Now, this growth proves that marketeers see the added value of this community. And well, they have like 3 reasons that really stand out for using this community. First of all, They love it that it's so flexible. It's a way for them to generate fast responses to their question and ideas. It's easy to use, and they can use it when they need it. They can post a question. There are no startup costs or startup time. And secondly, it generates rich and relevant data because these members, they're connected with us for a long period of time, and they can share real-life experiences with us. And imagine that a marketeer is busy crafting a new campaign for the next barbecue season. They can just tap into the community to see what the latest barbecue stories are and learn more about their routines. And thirdly, it's a way to connect managers with other consumers and get them out of their ivory tower. It's sort of a reality check. So 3 benefits for them for using this community on a regular basis. Okay, so how to make this community a real success? Well, for starters, building a platform and hoping for activity from both sides simply won't work. We need to make it an experience. Like is often done in a restaurant, we need to keep surprising our guests because it's not only about the report that you deliver, it's about the whole community experience before, during, and after. So let's see how we create these experiences for our consumers. Well, one of the most important ways to engage users is to show them that they have impact. And of course, we regularly share our feedback with the members. But one way how we make this more explicit is through our wall of fame. And on this wall, we share with them all the products and the campaigns that were evaluated and that were inspired by our members. So this is a great way to make them feel proud of what they have accomplished together. A second example is by making them feel part of something exclusive. For example, we regularly give 20 members or a small amount of members the tasks to prepare a dish, for example. In this case, it was about chicken wings, as you can see. And they reported back to the marketeers and the other members with their experiences and photos. And after they got special feedback from the specific brand team, which again emphasizes that they are very special to the brand team of Heinz. A third example I want to stress is, of course, the fun factor. Instead of focusing on the monetary rewards, our members, well, we want to play for their attention. And one way how we do this is by giving them topic-related incentives. We send them goodie bags every 3 months instead of high monetary rewards. And we also like to make it more fun by organizing small competitions, for example. You can ask just a direct question about a topic like forgotten vegetables, but you can also make a quiz game out of it, letting them test their knowledge and giving the winner of that game all the recognition from the whole community. So we like to work with those quizzes and competitions. And a fourth example is when we connect members with the people from the brand. That also definitely boosts their engagement. So they post their feedback on the community. Also a few weeks ago, one of the marketeers recorded a video sharing showing her appreciation for the community and sharing the feedback on a couple of projects that they were working on together with the community. So this makes the brands also more human and accessible for the community members. So those were a couple of examples on how we engage our members, how we can give them more impact, make it more fun, and connect them with the people from the brands. For our internal stakeholders, we use different techniques to make to make them more engaged with this community. For example, our goal is to really bring the consumer to life within this company. We invite marketeers to play a game about topics that were on the community. For example, here the cooking techniques that were used. They can play the game and test their knowledge. They get instant feedback, so they learn directly from this game. And well, we just see that this technique really triggers a healthy competition amongst the colleagues within those different teams. Great way to engage them in a new topic with the consumer world. Secondly, we promote a community also offline. We share stories of them in the coffee corner, for example, or we place them even in the bathrooms to really get their full attention. And we have learned that it's really here the mix of online and offline teasers to keep the community really top of mind. Next to sharing the reports and those stories, we also want to inspire them and to take actions upon them. So that's why we organize workshops and ideation sessions where we invite marketeers, product developers, and account managers to jointly co-create actions based on those community results. And often these sessions trigger, again, new questions, which are then fed back to the community, making that you have like real iterative loops between both parties. And even after the workshop, we can activate the employees with the results from the community, for example, by sharing consumer recipes so that marketers can really experience those routines and techniques of consumers in their own kitchen. And finally, we want to make sure that the collected consumer knowledge does not end up in a bottom drawer or a lost folder. So we have built an online closed platform where we collect all the discussions and the reports to enable all the internal stakeholders to search for previous findings so we can also reuse those research results. So what are the results of this community and this way of working for Heinz? So first of all, marketers are now much more aware of the voice of the consumers and more careful also with making assumptions. Secondly, this community has made it easier for them to think like a consumer and also use their language. Different teams are also often challenged by management on the voice of the community on new product ideas, for example. They ask them like, what does the community think about this? It's really used as a way to check in every step of the funnel. And finally, also a very important one is that we have seen a shift on how the community is used. When we started this, it was mainly used for questions that were at the end of the funnel, like already around the launch of a product or a campaign. But this was extended also towards the beginning of this funnel with more explorative topics about routines, needs, and behavior. So now the community is mostly used throughout the funnel. And this brings me to the end of this short case study. And I have 3 takeaways for you. Well, first, We've already heard it in the past hour. It's an evolution and not a revolution. So remember that it's important to gradually grow the value of the community in order to be relevant for more stakeholders. Secondly, target the right information for the right stakeholders, especially with a larger group involved. Invite those people for the workshop, for example, for whom it is relevant. And thirdly, it's about balancing the results. You have to mix the engaging stories with the actionable insights to really prove the added value of the community. And finally, it's about keeping the community alive. This takes time and dedication, and it's very important for the overall success.